Hey guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Genesis 19 to 27, Proverbs 21, and Psalm 57 this is time. The two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom, and Lot saw them. He rose to meet them, and bowed himself with his face to the earth, and said, My lords, please turn aside to your servant's house, and spend the night and wash your feet, and you may rise up early and go on your way. And he said, No, we'll spend the night in the town square. And they pressed them strongly, and they turned aside to him into his house. He made them a feast and baked on them and bread, and they ate. But before they lay down, the men of the city, both the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people to the last man surrounded the house. They called to Lot, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know them. And Lot went out to the men of the bench and shut the door after him and said, I beg you, my brothers, do not act so willfully. Behold, I have two daughters who are not known. Any man, let me bring them out to you, and do to them as you please, only do nothing to these men. And they have come under the shelter of my roof. They said, Stand back. And they said, This fellow came to C.Jun, and he has become the judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. And they pressed hard against the man law, and drew near to break the door down. And the men reached out their hands, brought the lantern to ask them, and shut the door. And they struck with blindness. The men heard the entrance of the house visible and great, that they wore themselves out, groping for the door. And the man said to Lot, Have you anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons, daughters, or anyone you have in the city? Bringing them out of the place. So we are about to destroy this place. As the outcry against the people has become great before the Lord. And the Lord sent us to destroy. So Lord went out and said to sons-in-law, who are to marry his daughters up and get out of this place. So the Lord is about to destroy the city. It seemed to sons-in-law to be jesting. And as morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, Up, take up your wife and your two daughters who are here, lest you be swept away in the punishment of the sea. And he lingered, so the man seized him and his wife and his two daughters by the hand. And the Lord being merciful to them, they brought him out and set him outside the city. And as he brought them out, one said, Escape for your life, do not look back or stop anywhere. Stop anywhere in the valley, escape to the hills. And you be swept away. And the Lord said to him, I know, my Lord, behold, your servant has found favor in your sight. And you show me great kindness and save my life, but I cannot escape to the hills. As disaster overtake me, and I die, behold, the sea is enough to flee to, and is a little one, let me escape there, is not a little one. And when life will be saved, behold. And he said to him, Behold, I grant you this favor, and I will not overthrow the sea of which you spoke, and escape very quickly, for I can do nothing until you arrive there. Therefore the name of that sea was called Sol. The sun had risen on the earth, and Lot came to Sol, and the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah, sulphur and fire from the Lord out of heaven. He overthrew their cities in all the valley, and all the inhabitants of the cities walked on the ground, with Lot's wife behind him, looking back, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of that. And he looked, and behold, the smoke of the land went up like the smoke of a furnace. So it was that when God destroyed the cities of Ai, God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot lived. And Lot went up to Zoar, and lived in the hills with his two daughters, for he was afraid to live in Zoar. So he lived in a cave with two daughters, and the firstborn, and said to younger, Father, son, there is not a man to come unto us after all the men of the earth. Let's make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, though he preserve offspring for our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. He did not know when she laid or when she arose. The next day the firstborn said to the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let's make him drink wine tonight, so then you go in and lie with him, though we will preserve offspring for our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. So the younger arose and lay with him. He did not know when she laid or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. Their firstborn bore a son called his name Moab. He was the father of the Moabites to this day. The younger also bore a son called his name Ben-Ali. He was the father of the Ammonites to this day. And there Abraham journeyed toward the territory of Negeb, and lived between Kash and Shur. In C.Jun in Gerar, Abraham said to Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech came to Gerar and took Sarah. And God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, you are a dead man, because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. Now Abimelech had not approached her, so he said, Lord, will you kill innocent people? Did he not himself say to me, She is my sister? And she herself said, He is my brother. And the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands I have done this. And God said to him in the dream, Yes, I know that you have done this in the integrity of your heart. It is I who kept you from sinning against me, therefore I did not let you touch her. Now they return the man's wife, he is a prophet, so he will pray for you, and you shall live. If you do return her, I know that you shall die, you and all who you are. So Abimelech arose early in the morning and called his servants, and told them all these things, and the men were very much afraid. And Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, What have you done to us? And how have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? You have done many things that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What do you see that you did this thing? Abraham said, I did because I thought there's no fear of God at all in this place. They will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, though not the daughter of my mother. Then she became my wife, and when God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, This is the kindness you must do me. At every place to which we come, say to me, Save me, he is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen, male sons and female sons, and gave them to Abraham, and 10 Sarahs rested. And Abimelech said, Behold, my lands before you, go away lazy. To Sarah he said, Behold, I have given you but 1,000 pieces of silver. It is son yet, and his sons and lives will go with you. Therefore, everyone you have indicated, Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, and as he healed his wife and his fiancé slice. So they bore children, so the Lord had closed all the way into the house of Abimelech, because Sarah, Abraham's wife. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived, and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the time which God spoke to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, and Sarah bore him Isaac. Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him, and said, So God has made laughter for me, if only his will laugh over me. And she said, Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? He had borne him a son in his old age, and the child grew on his weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, she had born to Abraham, laughing. So she said to Abraham, Cast out the slave woman with the son of the slave woman, shall not be here with my son Isaac. The thing was very displeasing to Abraham on account of his son. And God said to Abraham, Be not displeased because of the boy, because he is slave of a woman. Whatever Sarah says to you, do as she tells you. But through Isaac shall offspring be named, and I'll make a nation of the son of the slave woman. And here she is your offspring. So Abraham rose early in the morning, and took bread and a skin of water, and gave to Hagar, putting on his shoulder, along with the child, sent her away. And she departed and bound it in the wilderness of Beersheba. And when the skin was gone, she put the child under one of the bushes. And she went and sat down opposite him, a good way off, about the distance of a bowshot. And she said, I may not look on the death of this child. And she sat opposite him, she lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the boy. The angel of God called Hagar from heaven and said to her, What troubles you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Lift up the boy and hold him fastly to her. And make him into a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. And God with the one he grew up, he lived in the wilderness and became an expert with the boy. He lived in the wilderness apparently his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. That time Abimelech and he called the commandments on, said to Abraham, God is with you in all that you do. Now therefore say to me here that by God, that you will not deal falsely with me or with my descendants or with my posterity. As I have dealt kindly with you, so you deal with me with the land where you sojourn. And Abraham said, I will swear. Then Abraham reproved Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech sent to seize. Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this thing. You have not told me. And I have not heard of it until today. Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech. And 2 men made a covenant. And Abraham sent 7 ewe lambs of the flock apart. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs? And he set apart he said, These 7 ewe lambs you'll take from my hand, that they may be a witness for me. And I dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba. And as there both of them saw an oath, so they made a covenant. Beersheba, then Abimelech and Philip, the commander of this army, rose up and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba and called there on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. Abraham sojourned many days in the land of the Philistines. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. He said, Take your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land Moriah. Offer him there for a burnt offering on one of the mountains which he shall tell. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and his son Isaac, and he cut the wood on the burnt offering, and rose and went to a place which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here at the donkey, I and the boy will go over there and worship, and then come again to you. And then Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid on Isaac his son, and took his hand, and fire and the knife. So they went both of them together, and Isaac said to his father Abraham, My father. He said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood. And where is land for a burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the land for a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together, and they came to a place which God told him. Abraham built the altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, laid him on the altar. On top of the wood, then Abraham reached out his hand, and took the knife to slaughter his son. And the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. But now I know that you fear God, so that you do not withhold your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, The Lord will provide, as he said to this day. On the mount of the Lord shall we provide. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, I myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, as you have done this, and not withhold your son, your only son. I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply offspring as the stars of heaven, and the sand as on the seashore. And offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies. Your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. And Jacob obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young man, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham lived at Beersheba. And after these things was told to Abraham, Milcah is his born children to your brother Nahal as his firstborn. Baz his brother came out the father Aaron, Chesed, Hazer, Peldash, Jidlaf, and Bethuel. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahal and his brother. Moreover, his concubine, his name was Rumah, bore Teba, Gahem, Tash, and Maacah. Sarah lived 120 years, that is with years of life of Sarah. And Sarah died of Kirith Arba in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went into the man for Sarah to weep for her. And Abraham rose up from before his death and said to Hittite, I am a sojourner and a foreigner among you. Give me property among you for a burying place, that I may bury my dead out of sight. And Hittites answered Abraham, Hear us, my Lord, you are a prince of God among us. Bury your dead in the choice of our tents. None of us will withhold you from us to hinder you from burying your dead. Abraham rose and bowed to Hittites, the people of the land. And he said to them, If you are willing that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat me. For me, Ephron the son of Zohar, he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he owns, is at the end of his field. For the full price, let me give it to me in your presence as property for a burying place. And Ephron stood among the Hittites, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the Hittites of all who wanted at the gate of the sea. No, my Lord, hear me, I give you the field, I'll give you the key that is in it. Inside the sons of the land heap, I'll give it to you, bury your dead. And Abraham bowed down before the people, I'll give it to Ephron, and he said to Ephron in hearing of the people, If you will hear me, I'll give the price of the field. Accept it from me, that I may bury my dead. That Ephron answered Abraham, My Lord, listen to me, a piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is between you, what's that between you and me, bury your dead? Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver, and he had named in the hearing of the Hittites 400 shekels of silver, according to weights kind among the merchants. So the field of Ephron and Machpelah, which was to the east of Mamre, the field with the cave that was in it, and all the trees and that were in the field throughout its whole area, was made over to Abraham as a possession of the presence of the Hittites, for all we wanted at the gate of the sea. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah east of Mamre, in the land of Canaan. The field and the cave that was in it were made over to Abraham as a property for a burying place by the Hittites. Now Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. Abraham said to his son, the Lord of his household, who was in charge of all the earth, Your hand under my thigh, and make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven, and God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son for the daughters of the Canaanites, nor whom I adore, but will go to my country and my kindred, and will take a wife for my son Isaac. The servant said to him, Perhaps the Lord may not be willing to follow me to this land. I said, Then take your son back to the land from which you came. Abraham said to him, See to it that you do not take my son back. And the Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from the old of my father's house, and from the land of my kindred, who spake to me and swore to me to ask me, I'll get this land. He sent his angel before you, and you shall take a wife from my son from there. If the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be free from this oath of mine. And you must not take my son back there. And the servant put his hand over the thigh of Abraham, his master, and sword him to his mouth. And the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking all sorts of choice gifts from his master. He arose and went to Mesopotamia to the sea of Nahor. He made his camels kneel down outside the sea to the wall of water for the time of evening. And the time when woman grew up Joel, and he said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, he has granted me success today and show steps love to my master Abraham. I am standing by the spring of well, and the daughters of men of the sea are come out to draw water. And the young one to whom I shall say, Please lay you down your jar that I may drink. And you shall say, Drink, and I will water your camels, and let her be the one whom you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know that you speak in steps love to my master. Before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah. And Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's father, came out with a water jar on her shoulder. The young one was very attractive and terrorist in appearance, a waiter whom no man had known. She went down to the spring and filled a jar and came up, and the servant ran to meet her and said, Please give me a water to drink from your jar. He said, Drink, my Lord. And she quickly let down her jar upon her hand and gave her a drink, and he finished giving her a drink. And he said, I'll draw water for your camels until they finish drinking. So she quickly emptied her jar into a trough and ran again to the Lord to draw water, and she drew forward his camels. The men gazed to her and sighed to learn whether the Lord had prospered this journey or not. When the camels had finished drinking, the men took a gold ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets for her arms weighing 10 gold shekels, and said, Please tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night? He said to her, And the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she brought to Nahor. She added, We have plenty of both straw and fodder. And I removed to spend the night. The man bowed his head, worshipped the Lord, and said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his servant's love, and his faithfulness toward my master. As for me, the Lord has led me in the way to the house of my master's kinsman. And the young woman ran and told her mother's household all about these things. Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. Laban ran out toward the man to the spring, and soon he saw the ring of the bracelets on his sister's arms, and heard the words of Rebekah's sister. As the man spoke to him, he went to the man, and behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. And he said, Come in, blessed the Lord. Why do you stand aside? For I prepared the house and I placed it the camels. So the man came to the house and unharnessed the camels, and gave straw and water to the camels, and there was water. And there was water to wash his feet and feed them. with the food is set before him taking it. And he said, I'll not eat until I have said what I have to say. And he said, speak on. And he said, Abraham said, and the Lord is greatly blessed my master, and he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male servants and female servants. Hamlets and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master, and she was old. And to him he has given all that he has. My master made me swear, saying, shall not take a wife from my son, or from the doors of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. He shall go to my father's house, to my clan, and take a wife from my son. And he said to my master, perhaps the Lord will not follow me. He said to me, Lord, behold, whom I have will send his angel with you, and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife from my son, from my clan. From my father's house, you will be free from my oath. When you come to the clan, and they will not give it to you, and you will be free from my oath. And I came today to spring and said, Lord, the God of my master Abraham. And if now you are prospering in the way I go, behold, I am standing by the spring of water. And if a virgin comes up to draw water to you, I shall say, please give me a little water for any jar to drink. And he will say to him, drink, and I'll draw for your cows. Listen, may I be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. And before I had finished speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah came out with a water jar on her shoulder. And she went down to spring of water, spring and drew water. I said to her, please let me drink. And quickly let down her jar from her shoulder, and said, drink, and I'll give you camels drinkers. So I drank, and she gave the camels drinkers. And I asked her, whose daughter are you? She said, the daughter of Bethel and Nachor's. And I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord. And blessed the Lord. And God, my master Abraham, who had led me by the right way to take the daughter of my master's confidence and for his son. Now then, if you are going to show steadfast love and faithfulness to my master, tell me. If not, tell me that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing has come from the Lord. We cannot speak to you bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before we take her and go. Let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has spoken. And Abraham said and heard their words. He bowed himself to earth before the Lord. And his servant brought out jewelry, silver and gold, and garments, and gave them to Rebekah. Yes, he gave to her father and her mother the cost of the woods. And he and the men who were with him and ate and drank. And they spent the night there. When they arose in the morning, he said, send me away to my master, her brother, and her mother said, if they will remain with us a while, at least 10 days after that she may go. He said to them, do not delay me, since the Lord has passed through my way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, let's call the young woman and ask her. And they called Rebekah and said to her, will you go with this man? She said, I will go. And he sent away Rebekah, their sister, and their nurse, and Abraham's servant and his man. And he blessed Rebekah and said to her, our sister, may you become thousands of 10,000, and may your offspring possess the gate of those here. And Rebekah and the young woman arose and rode on the camels and followed the man. As the servant took Rebekah and went his way. And now Isaac had returned from Beer-lahai, where he was dwelling in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field toward evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, there were camels coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes. And when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from the camel and said to his servant, who is that man walking in the field to me? As the servant said, it is my master. And she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things he had done. And Isaac brought into the tent of Sarah his mother, and took Rebekah. And she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishmael, and Shua. Jokshan fathered Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asher, Letush, and Aman. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Hanok, Abida, and Eldar. And all these were the children of Keturah. Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac, to his sons and to his concubines. Abraham gave gifts. When he was still living, he sent them away from his son Isaac eastward to the east country. These are the days of years to Abraham's life, 175 years. Abraham breathed his last and during the good old age, and old men of 40 years. He was gathered to his people. Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah. In the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite, used to murmur. He knew that Abraham perishes from the Hittites. Yet Abraham was buried with Sarah, his wife, around the death of him. After the death of Abraham, God blessed Isaac, his son. And Isaac served Beer-lahai. These are generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, who Hagar the Egyptian. And Sarah served Boaz Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, named in the order of their birth. Nebaioth, the firstborn Ishmael. And Kedar, Abiel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetor, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are named by their villages and their encampments. 12 princes according to their tribes. And he sailed from Havilah to Shur, which is opposite Egypt in the direction of Syria. He sailed over against all his kinsmen. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham fathered Isaac. And Isaac was 4 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean, and of Panoah, and sister Laban the Aramean, to his wife. And Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer. And Rebekah's wife conceived. They children struggled together within her, and she said, if this thus, why is this happening to me? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, the older shall serve the younger. And in days to give birth were completed, behold, there were twins in the way. And birth came out with bread, and it was body like a hairy cloak. So they called his name Esau. After his brother came out with his hand holding Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore him. And the boys grew up. Esau was a skillful hunter, a man to the field, while Jacob was quiet, man dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he ate his game. Rebekah loved Jacob. Once when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field exhausted, and Esau said to Jacob, let me eat some of that red stew, for I am exhausted. And Jacob said, sell me your birthright now. Esau said, I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me? And Jacob said, swear to me now. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew. He ate and drank and rose and went his way. And as Esau despised the birthright, now there was a famine in the land. He despised the former famine that was in the days of Abraham. Isaac went up to Gerar to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and the Lord appeared to him and said, "You will go down to Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell you to sojourn in this land. I will be with you and will bless you, and to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands. I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and will give to your offspring all these lands. In your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac settled in Gerar. When the men of the place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say my wife, thinking lest the men of the place should kill him against Rebekah, because she was attractive and like parents. When he had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out of the window and saw Isaac laughing at Rebekah's wife. So Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, I know she is your wife. How then could you say she is my sister?" Isaac said to him, "As if the Lord said that because of that." Abimelech said, "As if she had done to us, one of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, "Whoever touches this man and his wife shall surely be put to death." And Isaac sowed in the land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him, and the man became rich and gained more and more until he became very wealthy. He had possessions of flocks and herds, and many sons, so the Philistines envied him. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, you are much mightier than us." So Isaac departed and came to the valley of Gerar and settled there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water that had been dug in the days of Abraham and his father. His Philistines stopped after the death of Abraham. He gave them the names that his father had given them. When Isaac's sons dug in the valley and found there a well of spring water, Isaac Gerar quarreled with Isaac's husband, saying, "The water is ours." And he dug it in the window. So he called the name of that well Esau, because they couldn't tell with him. Dug another well, and they called it that. So he called his name Sinah. He moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called his name Rahab, saying, "For now the Lord has made me first. He shall be fruitful in the land." From there he went to Israel. And the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the God of Abraham your father. And I am with you, and will bless you, and will multiply your offspring for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants dug a well. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar with Hadath as a right, and he followed the command of his arm. Isaac said to him, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you hate me and have sent me away from me?" And so you see plainly that the Lord is with you. So he said, "Let there be a sworn pact between us, between you and us. I just make a covenant with you, so you will do us no harm, just so we have not touched you and have done to you nothing but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed of the Lord." So he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. In the morning they arose early and exchanged oaths. Isaac sent them on their way. In the morning they departed from him in peace. And the same day Isaac's sons came and told him about the well that they had dug, and said, "We have found water," and he called it Sheba, and therefore named the city is called Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took Judah the daughter of Beeri the Hittite to be his wife, and Basemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. When Isaac was old, his eyes were dim so he could not see. He called Esau his oldest son and said to him, "My son, here I am." And he said, "Behold, I am old, and do not know the day of my death. Now then take your weapons and your quiver and your bow, and go to the thin hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food such as I love. And bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." And Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So Esau went to the field to hunt for game. Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. Give me game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command. Go to a flock and bring me 2 good young goats, that I may prepare for me delicious food for your father, much as he loves, and you shall bring to your father to me. So he may bless you before he dies." And Jacob said to Rebekah's mother, "No, my mother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and seem to me mocking him and bringing curse upon myself, and not blessing." His mother said to him, "Your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice and bring them to me." So he went and took them and brought them to his mother. And mother prepared delicious foods, just such as father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, his oldest son, which were with her in his house, put them on Jacob, his youngest son. And since the younger, she put in his hands in the smooth part of his neck, and he put delicious food in the bread which she had prepared to hand her son Jacob. So he went to his father and said, "My father." He said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of my game." Esau may bless you. Isaac said to his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" He answered, because the Lord your God grant me success." Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feed you, my son. Know whether you really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went near to Isaac his father. He felt him and said, "Their voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. He said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He answered, "I am." And he said, "Bring it near to me. Now I eat of my son's game and bless you." So he brought it to him. And brought it near to him, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him. And Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him and said, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. And God gave you the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine, and that people serve your nations bow down to you, but your Lord over your blood. And your mother's sons bow down to you, cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, Esau's brother came in from his hunting. Esau prepared delicious food, And brother to his father, he said to his father, let my father rise and eat his son again. He may bless me. His father Isaac said to him, who are you? And said, I am your Lord, the firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very violently, and said, who is it that hunted you and brought it to me, and I ate it before you came? And I blessed him, yes, and he shall be blessed. As Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out to the exceeding great and big and said to his father, bless me, even me, said my father. And he said, your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing. Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. He said, have you not received a blessing from me? Isaac answered and said to Esau, behold, I have made him the Lord of you, and all his brothers I have given to him for Sabbath. With grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, have you got one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me, said my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, and Isaac his father answered and said, held away from the fatness I shall have done and be ready from the dew of heaven on high. By his sword you shall live, you shall serve your brother, but when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. He said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are approaching, and I'll kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, oldest son, were taught to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her youngest son, and said to him, behold, your brother Esau comforts himself about planning to kill you. And therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise, flee to labor my brother and Harry, and stay with him a while until your brother turns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you. For forget what you have done to him, and he will send to bring you from there. Why should I be bereft of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I live my life because the Hittite woman. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? Proverbs 21. The king's heart is trembled in the hand, Lord. He turns away every evil. The way of men is right in his own, so the Lord weighs the heart. To be righteous and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. All eyes in the proud heart, and lamp of the wicked are sin. Plans and diligently surely to abundance. The old one whose hasty comes only to poverty. Getting you treasure by a land, as holding babe in a snare, death, the violence of the wicked will seek that way. As if he still was just the way the guilty is crooked, the conductance of pure is upright. The edge of the corner of Hassan has showed the cross of life. So all the wicked desires the old, and his name finds no mercy in his eyes. And his scoffers punished, some will become wise, and wise men instructed his sin against knowledge. The righteous one observes Hassan, he throws the wicked down to him. He will close the ear to the cry of the poor, and suckle them will not be answered. Gift and secret vetting, and conceal by strong mouth. When justice done is dread to rush, and terror to evildoers. One who wanders from the way of good sense will rest in the assembly of the day. Whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves one and all will not be rich. Work is a ransom of the righteous, and tread for the outright. Better to live in the desert land, and cause of a fretful woman. Precious treasure and oil, and the wise man's die. Therefore spend devours, and whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. Righteousness seals the seed, and right makes them strong and wisdom trust. Whoever keeps his mouth in his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. Scoffers and living arrogant, haughty men acts with arrogant pride. His eyes slowly kills her, and his hands feast to labor. All day long he carries him, catches and righteous gaze at thus the whole back. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination, much more when he brings with evil intent. False witness will crash, the word of man hears and joy. The good man puts on the bold faces, our right gives thought to his ways. No wisdom, no understanding, no counsel can avail his law. What's made ready for the day of battle, the victory belongs to the Lord. Psalm 57. Be merciful to me, God, be merciful to me. In your sword I take, in you my soul takes refuge. The shadow of your wings I will take refuge. In strong destruction pass by, I cry to God most high. The God who fulfills his purpose for me, who sent from heaven and past to save me. He will put to shame him and tramples on me. God's tender steps, love and faithfulness. My soul in the midst of lions, I lie down in fire, amid fiery beasts, children men, whose teeth are spits and arrows. His tongues are sharp swords, and he is not God above the hands, let his glory be over all the earth. He said, therefore my steps, my soul is bowed down, they do appear my way, but they have fallen into themselves. My heart's deaf is so good, my heart's deaf is, I will sing make melody, awake my God. Awake our heart and I will wake the dawn, I will give thanks to you, Lord, among the people, I will sing praise to you among the nations. His terror is low, his great to hand, his faithfulness to class, be exalted God above the hands, let your glory be over all the earth. Now stand, now do lost bags, but he has it. Please bow your heads, bow your hand, hallelujah, name him, come, we've done enough, that's the nation. His down day, but every good is death, who's forgiven our touches. His son to taste with us, sing for one, for the kingdom, and power, the glory forever, amen. See you tomorrow, bye.